Hey, Couch Canoodlers, it's Alex with Couch.com, and today we're going to talk about just the basics of buying a new couch. Some people come to Couch.com looking for inspiration, advice, education, and that's what this is, really just some of the very basics that you should think about before going into a store or going online to buy a couch. So here we go. What should you know before buying a sofa? There are really 4 basic things to do before you even start shopping, and here they are. Number 1, measure your space. Measuring your space is incredibly important because it allows you to know what you have to work with. You can't really go into a furniture store or go shopping online without knowing how much space you have to work with. That's the difference between knowing whether I'm shopping for a love seat or a huge L sectional. See the difference? Number 2, consider your lifestyle. This is extremely important. Many people have pets, many people have kids, and they don't think about it until after they order their new couch. This is something definitely to consider before you buy a new couch. Maybe you entertain guests all the time and you want something stain resistant because your friends like to drink wine. A lot of it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you have cats who like to scratch. Maybe you have no kids, no friends, no cats, and you just want the absolute nicest fabric imaginable. These things are important to consider before you start buying a couch. Number 3, determining your style. Now this is a little bit difficult for all the beginners out there who maybe haven't bought a couch before or just very confused by all the many different styles that are offered in this industry. Still, it's very important to have a good sense of what you might like. So go online, go to Pinterest, search around at Couch.com, get inspired by different things that look like something that you would like to have in your home. Even if it's not even possible or if they're out of your price range, it doesn't matter. Having a visual aid can be extremely helpful in the couch buying process, especially if you're able to show it to someone like an interior designer or a sales associate on an online store or a retail store who can help you find something that looks similar, if not exactly the same. Number 4, setting a budget. Setting a budget is very, very important because simply there's a very, very wide range of prices in the couch industry. You can buy a couch for $500 and you can buy a couch that looks kind of similar for $5,000. So knowing how much you're willing to spend, and you don't have to have an exact dollar amount, it can be something like, I want to spend around $1,500, but it could be $1,000, it could be $2,000. If those are your parameters, it at least gives you something to work with. A filter in an online store that you can put on the search results page so you're not seeing things that are way out of your price range or way under your price range. Or something you can tell a sales associate in a retail store so they can help point you in the right direction. How can you tell if a couch is good quality? There are a few things that are sort of telltale signs of a poorly designed couch. Finding a really, really well-made couch is a little bit more of a nuanced exercise. However, here are some things to consider when you're doing this. Number 1, frame construction. Now, none of us are sofa makers, so we don't all know exactly what to look for when it comes to frame construction. However, nicer frames tend to be a little bit heavier than poorly made frames. Asking questions of a sales associate like, what is this made out of? What is the frame construction? Or seeking that information out online is very important because you really don't want to end up with something that's fully made of engineered wood or just has some very bad reviews surrounding the frame construction. You don't want it to break under you when you're sitting there at night. Now, on the other hand, frames rarely break in the furniture industry. Couches are made to last, even some of the cheaper ones. So this may be a little bit of a difficult thing to evaluate, but something that still is very important to consider, and you might as well ask a few questions to make yourself feel more comfortable. Cushion filling. This is an important thing to test because cushions can be a sign of a poorly made couch. If you sit on that thing and you bounce all the way out of the store, you can bet that that's probably not the highest quality cushioning. That being said, this is more a subjective thing as well, so it may be more important that it's the best cushioning for you. You may prefer a firmer cushion, even if it is something that is indicative of a little bit lower quality. Generally speaking, you can tell. You can even go to the back of cushions, open up the zipper, if there is one, and stick your hand in and feel it for yourself. If something feels off, it probably is. And again, ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. If you have a concern, just bring it up. What's the worst they can say? Number 3, stitching and upholstery. Now, I'm not a seamster. I don't even know how to sew, but I can tell if there are strings flying off in every different direction, whether it's a piece of clothing or a couch. And you can kind of tell if a seam is going this way and then it starts going this way. It may be indicative of a lower quality piece of furniture. And finally, comfort. Let's say you're in a furniture store and you're trying out a few different sofas. If you sit on one and it just feels a little bit off, chances are it might be indicative of something that is a little bit lower quality. Really nice couches generally feel like really nice couches. That being said, comfort is very subjective and is different for everyone. So understanding what's comfortable to you, whether that's a firm seat, something extremely cushiony, or something in between, is really the most important thing. And you can find those types of comfort at any price level. You may decide that you want a less expensive couch because it tends to be a little bit firmer. That may be what's comfortable to you. So don't be bound by any of these rules. These are just guidelines to help you in your couch buying process.